Hi YouTube, I want to speak to you in this video about nursing homes and how to choose the right nursing home for your loved one, whether it's your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your husband, or your wife. It's imperative that you map out first, do research on the different nursing homes in your specific area. I had two when I placed my mother. I had two nursing homes that I was looking at. The first one I thought was just the best because it was rated high for my area, which at that time was the Bronx. So it was rated the number one nursing home in the area. Um, I'm not going to tell you what area it is. I'm not going to sit here and promote any nursing home, but I'm going to tell you what you should look for when making a choice for your parent to go to the nursing home. I didn't choose the first one, which was rated so high because I couldn't get to it. And I realized, oh, it's so beautiful here. Everybody's happy, this, that, and the third. But I realized how difficult it was um, for me to get there. And I lived in the Bronx. It's almost like you had to have a car. And I said, well, I could take a taxi, but so that was the reason why I X'd out the first one. It was just really difficult to get to, and I knew that I wanted to visit my mother as much as possible. So I started mapping out the second one. The second one was again rated number two in the area, but I made appointments to go and see the facility. I was taken around after I made the appointment with the um, not the administrator, but the intake person. Um, they sit you down, they interview you. Um, you bring, you can bring medical records of your person that you're bringing in, your loved one, your parent, or your spouse, and you sit there and you talk. We spoke maybe about half hour, 45 minutes, just about my mother and her condition, and what happens on a day-to-day basis in the house. From there, in closing, the intake person took me to the different floors of the facility. The thing that you have to really look out for is this. Is the facility clean? Now, it's easy to see uh, big things, but you got to look for the small things, or what I thought were the small things. Um, do you smell urine on the floors of the different floors that you're visiting? Is there any smell of urine? When you go in the elevator, and the facility that I finally chose had two elevators. So uh, was there a urine smell on the elevator? Was there urine in the elevator? Was there urine on the floor? Do you smell urine when you pass the different residents? All that was no. The second thing that I was shocked at was that everybody had their own clothes on. And that wasn't pointed out to me, but I saw it. And I had done research before via the Alzheimer's Association, also on the internet. So I had two sources to kind of guide me as to what to look for. So the second thing was that everybody had their own clothes on. Nobody was walking around in robes and slippers. Everybody's hair was done. You could tell that they had been bathed, whether it was shower or sponge bath, sponge bath or what have you. So everybody was clean in their own clothes. Um, I was told that nobody stays in um, what would I call it, a program if they don't want to stay there. And there was a woman who said, "I don't want to stay here," and she got up and left, and nobody said anything about it. And I thought, oh, that's freedom. Being that they're in a nursing home, you have to realize you don't have your freedom anymore. You can't go outside. You can't go to the local bodega to get chips or what have you. You're fed three times a day, and if you're a snacker, that's kind of headed by the dietitian that's on site. So my mom was not a diabetic at all, um, but she was an Alzheimer's victim, and a great percentage of the time, those people cannot eat stuff like potato chips or overly sweet candies. Um, but the most important thing is that I didn't see any dirt on any floor. Everybody was clean. I never smelled anybody with urine. Um, I didn't see any urine or smell any urine in any of the floors or even in that facility anywhere. So it was very clean. The other thing you want to find out is what do the rooms look like? Are there 2 or 3 beds there? If there are 3 beds, that's a lot because you have 3 very different personalities that's going to be in a room. Many times, if you go on holiday on vacation, if there are more than 2 people in a room, you start to get antsy, right? So think about a facility where you really don't have control over as a parent or as a person that needs to be in a nursing home. Different personalities in the same room can be detrimental. The next thing you want to know is how are the clothes being cleaned? Are they sent out through laundry? Um, Silly question that I had, do I have to take my mom's clothes and wash them? I was willing to do that, and they said, no, we have a laundry on site. Um, Things that can't go to the laundry, like things that are pressed or what have you, bed sheets and all that, that's sent out. Um, I want to talk quickly because I just thought of it. You want to also make sure that your parent, if they're incontinent, in other words, if they cannot hold their urine, if they cannot hold their feces, they're going to put your parent in a diaper. You have to really make sure, especially if you're living in the state of New York, that your parent isn't being double diapered because that's illegal in the state of New York. You want to make sure that the CNAs, the certified nursing assistants, are really taking care of your person, your loved one, your parent or spouse. You want to make sure that uh, your person, your loved one, is cleaned all the time, that their hair is combed, um, that they're not sitting in a bed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That can create bed sores. That's illegal. Um, Make sure that there's a seat in your parents. I'm going to stick with parent because I put my mother in the nursing home, so I'm going to stick with the word parent, the adjective parent, or the noun parent. Make sure that there's at least one seat in that room so your parent could get up, go from the bed, and sit down and uh, do what they want to do, whether it's watching television or looking out the window. Now, I have this to say. Make sure that there are programs at the nursing home where your parent isn't sitting in the room all the time, because with Alzheimer's also comes depression. So they may not want to associate themselves with the rest of the population, even though you as a child may not want your father or mother to be amongst the population. It's much more imperative that they get involved with programs, whether it's exercise programs or sometimes depending on the rate of um, your parent, how they are mentally, they may only be able to do coloring, like coloring books, or doing basket weaving, or or just um, having conversations with the nurses or they're not really going to have that much conversation, unfortunately, with the certified nursing assistants because those people are there to make sure that your person is clean. Keep saying person, that your loved one is being clean, that their hair is combed, that they're clean, their clothes are being, that they're being bathed, and that they're being clothed is what I wanted to say. I'm going through this really fast, but it's quite detrimental, all these things that I'm telling you. Um, like I said, make 3 appointments to visit the nursing home. Within those 3 appointments,